all these are different types of plastics, type 1 to type 7. Although they are called as plastics, they are all different from each other, just like all these seeds. They look similar, but they are different. All different types of millets, but they look exactly the same, but they are all different. What happens if you mix all this together? You cannot segregate it. What happens if you mix all these together? You cannot segregate it, or it is difficult to segregate. Just like when you take a type 2 plastic and stuff type 4 plastic in it and then stuff it and give it for recycling. It becomes very difficult to recycle. About eco bricks, which has become really, really very, very famous, or say notorious, because of its ease of making it, because you do not have to actually collect the plastic and send it for recycling. Somewhere in the West Philippines, when the people of that poor country could not build houses with conventional construction materials, and when they had their oceans full of plastic, that is when they decided to collect all the plastic, clean it, dry it, and then use up such plastic bottles and put it inside this and use it as an eco brick for constructing their houses. If tomorrow I give you 1,000 such bricks to build your sapno ka ghar, your dream house, will you use these bricks or will you use the conventional bricks? If you cannot use it, you have no right to make these and tell somebody else to build their house. Second thing, there are some NGOs, very few NGOs throughout the country, who are actually collecting these eco bricks and trying to make structures where conventional brick and other construction materials are not available, which is a very good job. But not all the NGOs, not all the municipal corporations in the country. Third, have the schools ran out of ideas for science project for kids, and then we compare our school and education to the Western, and we blame that our education system is not good. For the students of standard 8th and 9th, there are so many other science projects that you can, trying to sow a seed, making compost, collecting dry leaves, planting trees. Instead of that, you're giving them a project that collects such bottles and put as much as plastic that you can into this. The student becomes very guilt-free. The student does not have to use his head or brain to do the project, and he becomes guilt-free of using the plastic. So you have told the student that jitna marzi plastic use karo, there is always a solution that you can put it inside this. So the child is using as much as plastic as possible to fill in this. In one such incident where I had gone to actually see what the children are doing, and I found a 2-liter bottle bigger than this, and I found Lay's packets, Kurkure packets, biscuit packets. Those plastics which were recyclable were also put inside this. In case 2, I saw that because the milk packets were not washed thoroughly and dried, there were maggots inside this. Imagine if a bottle which is filled with dirt and stink and maggots reaches the Safai Karmachari. How are they supposed to clean it? How are they supposed to remove it? Understand one thing. This millet costs me 200 rupees a kg. This millet costs me 50 rupees a kg. When you mix both these, the price will not be 150 plus 50. You will not get anything for this because it is mixed. Similarly, for type 2 plastics, which are highest recycled plastics in India, the price is around 18 to 20 rupees per kg, which you see the rag pickers pick up to fill their stomach. Once you mix this type 7 plastic into this, when you stuff it, it's very difficult for them to remove it out. For those people who do not make structures out of these, it's very difficult for them to remove this. Hence, they will cut this open and they will remove all the plastics. Jo plastics aapne stuff kare hain andar, that will be incinerated, clearly incinerated. Because when we don't have time to send 7 different types of plastics for recycling, how do we expect the Safai Karmachari to actually open it, segregate it and send it for recycling? They will straight burn it. I'm using the word incineration to make it sound less dangerous. So you are actually making this material non-recyclable as well as this material non-recyclable just because of your convenience. What you can do in this case? Firstly, if you really want to make eco bricks, see that you use only those small pieces of plastics which are ingested by the cows. For example, sellotape, corners of these, the small 1 rupee sachet packets, the very small ones which cannot go for recycling. You can put them dry in this. Only if you have somebody in your area who is accepting these eco bricks. My area does not accept, and many NGOs, many municipal corporations in this entire country do not accept. Now, you all have been claiming that there are some NGOs which have supported this. So tomorrow if I support burning or sending waste at the landfill, does it become a law? Does it become a policy? It does not. Just because 10 people are following it does not mean that it is the right process. So putting plastic in this and telling the students to do it, teaching the students, you are actually hampering the learning process of an entire generation, because this is not what they have to learn. They have to actually learn the substitutes for plastic, how they can reuse plastic, how they can reduce plastic. Instead, you are teaching them, leke aao plastic and bharo isme. Don't give them this solution. This is not a solution. This is a makeshift, or this is a jugaad. And this is your way of increasing engagement on social media for you to get more likes. If you have plastics, you can actually wash it, dry it, roll it up more than 5 minutes a day. And in 6 months, you will have 1 sack of plastic. Please send it to certified licensed recycling centers. Put your plastics in something which has an open mouth. So when a Safai Karmachari finds this, it is easy for her or him to empty the small plastics and send this for recycling, because this has high value. Something like this in a wide open mouth, not in a constricted. Those in support of EcoBricks also claim that they do not have any plastic recycling centers in their city or around their city. Well, even I don't have. I always send my plastics to either 5 Hour Cycle Foundation Mumbai or a waste to energy plant which is in Pune. You fold the plastics in this way, its volume also reduces and weight is anyways very less. Send it to the recycling centers so that they do not get incinerated and they are properly recycled. The real EcoBricks, if you try to find out, are these type of bricks. They are actually collecting the plastic dust, small pieces of plastic, shredding it, going through the right procedure, making a proper brick out of it, which can be used as a substitute to conventional bricks. But something which is stuffed into it, you cannot call this as an EcoBrick. A good analogy would be that when you have to cook food, you have to use flame, you have to use heat, the necessary spices, masala, the technique, and then pack it up and then make it look like food. You just cannot decorate it. You just cannot put the uncooked food and just decorate it outside and make it look like food just for you to sell your product, because doing that is much easy. Find out any NGO who is taking these EcoBricks. You will find that most people do not accept it. And municipal corporations are the correct source or collection of plastic, and not some influencer page or some NGO who just wants to do some activities for sustainable living. Please teach your children daily chores of the house. That's more of an activity or a project than this.